Good morning, welcome back. It is Monday. Of course, that means Mailbag Monday. Going over 20 random NASCAR hero cards that I picked up in a Facebook Marketplace deal. Getting close to a year ago. It was back in July. I thought it was August, but I looked at my Facebook timeline or something like that, and it was actually back in July. And I was like, wow, that's really close to a year. So it's been really, really cool. Looks like I've probably got maybe 5 or 6 more. I was thinking that we were going to be a lot closer to the end, but we might get all the way through April, which would be really, really cool. Don't know what you guys thought of the race yesterday. I thought that was a pretty good race. I liked the tire fall off. I liked the strategy. I liked how it was very old school and the fact that there wasn't 30 cars on the lead lap at the end. I liked the fact that, people had they had to think about how to race. It wasn't just go out and run. You did run as hard as you could, and the early parts was a little rough where they was kind of slowing down, made it feel like a plate race a little bit, or a Daytona-Talladega race. But at the end, I thought it worked out pretty cool, where so many different cars were dropping off really, really fast, and everybody just kind of hung on. So anyway, minute 15 into the video, we need to see some hero cards. We're going to start off with a BJ McLeod, and I think this is from a few years ago, maybe 2022. But a little bit of information about Go Fast Motorsports. I don't like vertical ones because it's hard to get them aligned in the frame. Next, we'll go back to 1994. Loy Allen Jr. with the Hooters restaurant sponsorship. Of course, he picked up that sponsor in 1994 after Alan Quickie perished in that plane crash in 1993. This next one, 1997. Smokin' Joe's Racing Camel Cigarettes, Jimmy Spencer, with crew chief Donnie Wingo, car owner Travis Carter, and Jimmy himself. Pretty cool there. This next one, 1995, we stay in the Cup Series with Morgan Shepherd and those Wood brothers. Glenn and Eddie and Lynn and Leonard and so many of them down there. And of course, there you see, I believe that was Kim Wood. Go to the Busch Series in 1996 with owner-driver Hermie Sadler, DeWalt Tools. He ended up getting this sponsorship from Bobby Dodder's team. They ended up having some issues over there, I guess, with sponsors, and Hermie ended up with that sponsorship package. I believe it was actually in 95 he ended up with it. We're staying in the Busch Series, and it looks like this is in 1995 as well. Dirk Stevens, Duralube Racing, Dennis Shoemaker. Of course, Trickle would end up driving this car. Parsons, a few others would have some good runs in that. Dirk Stevens, not so much. I just think he didn't have the experience, and it did not pan out for him. Going back to the Cup Series, looks like 1993 or 4, not 93, I'm sorry. 1995. Rusty Wallace, MGD Fords for Roger Penske. Looks like we're going to stay in that era. Looking for a year on this one. 97, Ted Musgrave with Roush Racing. We'll zoom in on some of these crewmen's faces. Guys, maybe you know somebody that's in this picture, but doesn't really talk much about them. I can't even remember who the crew chief was that year. Again, we're going to stick in this era. Looks like this is 1990. This is probably 96. Because this would be his comeback, Ernie Irvan. Because it's got his 94 stats there. And he didn't race the 28 car in 95. So yeah, that'd be his 96 card. This next, we're going to move way forward, 2014. Jimmy Johnson. It's a very clean card. Now you see Chad Knaus. That'd be kind of cool to get that signed. Now we're going to jump back a little bit here to 1992, the first year for Joe Gibbs Racing. Look at that, Dale Jarrett with Joe Gibbs there on the back. Still Coach Joe Gibbs. Don't see a year on this one. Maybe it looks like 2006. Yeah, this would be 2006, the only year he drove this car. Casey Mears. Of course, he was kind of sandwiched in between Jamie McMurray and Juan Pablo Montoya. His first race in that car, he finished second in the Daytona 500. Then I think he followed it up with a fifth-place finish or something like that at California. And then he just kind of derailed from there. 1999, Mike Bliss for Roush Racing in the Truck Series. And this card does have the little attachment where you could win $50,000. And there's some Exide Select batteries. We talked about them a little bit here recently. They ended up going out of business for one reason or another, and they had a plant close to Bristol Motor Speedway. And if you look on maps and Google Earth or whatever, there's still an Exide Drive. There's a new business, I think, in their plant, but nonetheless. Then we go to 2006 with Matt Crafton. And I always thought this was weird with some of the Menards trucks, how they would have very little branding on the hood. They just put their name right there across the nose real tight. But now you see with the Menards trucks, they usually have branding on the side, and they use the hood and the tailgate and the deck lid, or the bed, for their vendor sponsors. We have a blank back here, and this is from 1998, and it was just because it was a short-lived partnership. But Darrell Waltrip, because he only ran maybe, 8-10 races in this car while Steve Park recuperated. The weekend that Park got injured, they ended up putting, I want to say, Phil Parsons in the car the following week, and he did not qualify. Or they put somebody in it for a couple of weeks, and they just didn't qualify. And they put DW in at Bristol, and then moving forward, they really had a good partnership. Matter of fact, I believe Darrell got his final career top 5 in that car. Up next, 2022, Bubba Wallace, 2311 Racing with McDonald's sponsorship. 2000 NASCAR Cup Series, Jeffrey Bodine. Of course, he didn't get to start the year in this car. He had that horrible wreck in the Truck Series race and ended up starting about 8 or 10 races in when the Cup Series got to Richmond. He ended up having a pretty good run there as well. 2018, Daniel Suarez with the Comcast Business. Got a couple more here, and then we'll call it a day. 1997, Ken Schrader, Andy Petrie Racing with Skoal, U.S. Tobacco. I thought this was a really, really good pairing. I thought they could have done some really good things, but they ended up just having some rough seasons. It was a competitive era during that time, and many teams were starting to go to the multi-car team, and they were, I don't want to say late to the party, but many other teams like RCR and Hendrick and Roush and Gibbs and so forth had already, well, Gibbs really even hadn't at that point, but they were further up the manufacturer food chain than Andy Petrie was, so they kind of got left behind a little bit and struggled because of it. And our final one, I want to say this is from 2022 or probably 2023. Brad Kay, King's Hawaiian, Slider Sunday. So go get you some King's Hawaiian rolls and just enjoy all the racing. So anyway, thanks again for watching. Really, really do appreciate it. Fast Packs at noon, we are going to start ripping into some 1991 tracks and looking for the Jeff Gordon rookie card, and maybe see if we can pull a nice Steve Wade rookie card for Rick Houston over there at the Scene Vault podcast. But anyway, thanks again for watching. Really, really do appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we will see you at noon.